Greetings. My name is Miss McKinney, and I will be facilitating this session on the application Seesaw. Before I begin, I would like to inform you all on what Seesaw is and what it does for our students. So, Seesaw is an application that provides our students with the opportunity to express themselves as well as demonstrate what they know through a multitude of different media options. Students can create videos, students can create different pages, they can create documents, they can also take pictures with a number of tools that are embedded within the actual platform. And they can also provide links to external sites such as Canvas, YouTube, anything within Google Suites that they pretty much create. So I know that you see 3 different sign-ins here, one for teacher, student, and then family member. And some of you are probably like, family member? Well, yes, families are a part of our students' learning community as well. So this app does a great job at tracking all the activity that goes on as far as students receiving their tasks and any skills that students may need help with or that they are mastering. So I can actually show you all how students as well as family members will gain access to this platform through my teacher account. And at the very bottom, you'll see where it says create teacher account. That is where you'll enter all of your information to gain access to this platform. I am currently working on a free 60-day trial with Seesaw. And then after that, if I chose to, I would need to upgrade to instruction and insights. Or if my school had access, I'd just be able to choose them through here. But I'm going to go ahead and use my login credentials to get inside. Okay, now once you're inside, you will be on the home screen. And what I'm going to do is go ahead and show you all how students and families will be able to sign in. So on the far right, we would click on this wrench. And at the very top, you'll have options for adding students and adding families. So to add students, I would click here. I could provide my student's name, or either I could paste a list of names here if I use this link. But for now, we're going to skip that because I've added in students. However, this is how teachers will get their students to sign in. So this page right here. So of course, they would go to the sign in page. They would select I'm a student, and then they could scan the QR code, or they could put in the code that's provided below. Okay. And it does say that the code expires in 60 minutes. So this is just a safety feature, and you do not want to share this code with multiple classes. It's for just one class in particular. And then the way I have my settings configured, my students would be able to pick their name instead of having to sign on every single time. So you can change your settings that way. For families, you will simply click on Add Family. And I added in a few phone numbers just to see what would happen. But families would receive an invite link, and they would need to click on that link to be able to accept the invitation and start interacting with the actual platform as well. So here I click back on the wrench, and these are just class settings where you can change the name of the class and the color and the icon and everything. What's going to be most important is the settings are the settings, I'm sorry, for students and families. So this will determine how students are able to engage with one another, how they're going to engage with the posts and activities that you plan. And then families are going to have their own set of settings as well. Like you'll be able to control the request as well as, well, not necessarily the request, but the request that you put in or the invitation that you sent to the parent. But essentially, parents and guardians are going to have access to everything that their students are doing. And then class blog is just an opportunity for teachers to be able to showcase what their students have created. Progress is going to be addressing the skills. So whenever we create tasks for students in general, like across the board, whether they're just general assignments or assessments, there's always a skill or a set of skills that are associated. So this application does a great job of allowing teachers to create skills, or if you have a school voucher, or account, some of these skills may already be preset for you, and you would just select from them as you create your activities or assignment post. All right. So now I'm going to go to where my class is located and how I would create a new class. I would just click on create new class, but my class for this demonstration is right here in McKinney.school. Okay. And then select your school down at the bottom. There's a notification there, and that's just informing me that I need to connect to my school, of course, to access premium features, which they preview some for you, of course, if you have the trial. But this is so that I can be more connected and have more utility with the application. The QR code provided down at the bottom where you can scan it, it only allows you to scan Seesaw QR codes. You can't scan anything else. And then, of course, there's a help button if you need any assistance with the functionality of the app. All right. Next, we have messages. So remember before how I said the family is going to be tied in. So whenever you would like to provide an announcement or send parents a message or guardians a message, you would go to this area right here and you would just click next to messages to be able to compose one, compose a new announcement, or you could start a conversation. So it can be one-on-one or it can be a group message. Next, we are going to explore adding different assignments or different tasks for students. So to do this, we have this big add button right here, and I'm going to click on it and it's going to populate 3 different options. So the first one being to add to student journal. So I've already come up with an example that I would like for them to complete. So I'm going to select link, but you can attach a photo, a drawing, a video, a note, or upload any file pretty much here for them to interact with. And the cool part is that the interface or the template is not changing. And what do I mean by that? Let me go ahead and paste this in here. I'm going to go to YouTube. Sorry. Copy. I'm going to paste and then click the green check mark. And when I was referring to the interface not really changing as much, this is where students will be creating their tasks, creating their artifacts, and teachers will be assigning and building the tasks that they want to provide to their students. So this space right here is what's called the canvas. And I'll go ahead and start with the top left and then work my way all the way around the perimeter of the screen. to inform you of what each icon actually means in its use. So, of course, we have the trash can in the top left. As we work our way down to the bottom, we have a T, and this is for text box, so I can inform my students to watch the video. Okay. And if I wanted to, I just would like click on it and hold it and then drag it to where I would want it to fit within the canvas, like on this page. Okay. And I can also change the color to where the font and the border are matching. But if I didn't want it to look like this, I would click on those three dots and then I would change the style. So the style is going to be highlighted right here in purple. And if I wanted to make sure that the box is filled in, I would select that one. If I didn't want a filled box or a box that didn't have an outline or a border, I would simply select that one, okay? And if I go back to the fill, the neat thing is you don't have to worry about changing the color of the actual font or the words itself to match the background, because I know sometimes that can be a task for us teachers, especially when we're presenting information to students. We want them to be able to see it. The next thing up under the T is going to be the mic. So this actually allows students and teachers to record their screen or their voice as they are working. Okay. And this isn't functioning right now. I don't have access to it because I am recording. I'm recording this session. Next, we have the photo icon, which expands out to video and uploading other media. Okay, so this is what it looks like in front of me right now. And if I were to exit out of it, I would go back to my screen where I was. And then those three dots, they expand into shapes, changing the background color, inserting or embedding a link, and providing a voice memo for students. So if I wanted to change the canvas, I could just click on different shapes here and I could scroll down. Okay. And then once I'm done, I will tap on the outside and adjust the size and then just pretty much drag around these shapes to fill my canvas. Okay. So these are going to be helpful for teaching math, teaching science, pretty much any subject where we want to provide students with an opportunity to demonstrate what it is that they know. So let's go ahead and equip them with those tools. All right. And then at the bottom, right here where you see the quotations, this is actually just a caption feature. So you can record or either upload audio that you already have. And then this icon here for the link is just a link to the video that's existing in here. Okay. All right. So at the bottom, we have the pencil, which is right here. Let me go ahead and click on it so you can see it. So this will be the pencil. I'll change the color. If you want to adjust the size of the pencil, you would just tap on it again once you've already selected it. And if I click here, this is going to be the move or the hand. So just how I'm able to move this star around here, I would need to select that move icon. All right. Now, after the pencil, we have the pen, and you can adjust that size as well. Here we have the highlighter. You can change its color. This utensil right here is referred to as the glow pen. And then lastly, we have the eraser. So with the eraser, you can adjust the size or you can erase the drawing in its entirety. So what do I mean by that? Let me go ahead and select my glow pen. And I'm just going to scribble here. and you can see that the writing actually appears to glow, all right, or it has that on the screen, that fluorescence on the screen. Okay, and if I wanted to delete it, I will select the eraser and then click on it again and then select erase drawing. But I'm going to put it back on there because I think it looks pretty. All right, so if I'm wanting to continue this activity for my students, I put all these amazing elements on here. I want to add another page full of things for them to see, or I want to just add a page where you can put your student work. So I would tell them, or either I could write, let me take that off here. Okay, so I can say place your 3 examples of each classification. And you'll know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about classification of matter here. All right. And I can put a voice memo to let them know that I would like for them to provide 3 different pictures or 3 different images. Okay. Or I could have them draw them to the best of their ability, or they could take a picture, okay, and put them in here and then provide voice memos and have them explain to me why they chose this, or, what properties make this significant so that it is classified in that type of matter. All right. And then I have my green check mark, which means that I'm done and I'm ready to assign it. Not yet. And then I have my orange button that says draft. And this just means that I'll be able to come back to it a little bit later. But we're going to go ahead and assign this to the students. Okay. So I have the option to assign this to all of my students, or either I can just assign it to a specific group. Now, as I told you before, I've already put demo students in. So I just divided them amongst the 2 groups, 3 in one and then 2 in another. But we're going to assign this to all students. So that's going to select all 5. We're going to hit the check mark, and it's going to provide them with a post. And that post should appear, within the journal area. All right, so once it appears in the journal area, students are able to see what I put in here for them. And they can also see the slide where they'll have to provide their work. At the bottom, these icons, the heart is for liking something. This bubble right here is, of course, for commenting. This one right here is for teacher notes. So students are not going to be able to see these. This is just for you. The cap is going to be for tagging a specific skill. Now, I did input skills in here. I'm unable to tag them. I'm not sure what's going on. I think it's because of my subscription. But essentially, you would tag a skill here. Let's go ahead and put it here. And then it will say skill updated. And then once your skill is tagged, you would have the number of however many skills that you tagged to this post or this specific activity. So let's go ahead and deselect these, save what we did, and that's exit. All right. This folder here is to organize the visibility. All right. And then also to provide you with some insights on highlights. So highlights tend to organize students' noteworthy work or to act as exemplar artifacts during a conference, or if you want to show your department or your admin what your students are doing. All right, and let's just go ahead and put that highlight right there so that badge would light up, okay? And then if we wanted to, um, it would show up in the students' highlights themselves. And students are capable of actually putting objects in their highlights if they wanted to. Okay. Next, we're going to click add once again. And we're going to do assign an activity. Now, after we assign an activity, it should populate within this area right here, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. So let's go to assign activity. And this is going to take me to Seesaw's library. So there are 3 different libraries that you have access to. The community library is going to be a bank of different assessments and lessons created from their certified educators, as well as any ambassadors of this application. Okay, so there are a number, and I was, very much surprised of the different activities and such that educators, and it just shows you how our creativity can also fuel students' creativity as well. So you can choose from a different number of grades, different subjects. Okay. And look at that. They have digital citizenship. And then you can also search how you would want to search it. And then at the bottom, there's also other terms where you can browse by the subject as well as the grade level. Okay. The next thing is Seesaw's library. So Seesaw has what is referred to as a standards and curriculum alignment, meaning that these grade bands that you see up here at the top, they have standards and curriculum alignments that are tagged within them. So if you can see here, just from the ones at the top that are tagged with free, we have ISTE standards, we have Common Core Math standards, we have SEL standards. So these are already tagged and ready to go. And then you have your library. So this is where you can access any other ones that you've previously accessed from the community or the Seesaw library. Here you can see I chose an SEL one for how are you feeling or for Earth Day. And then there are 2 that I created on my own. All right. So let's go ahead and explore what it would look like if we selected one from the other libraries. So it tells you how long it is, and it's on student reflection. If you wanted to, and most teachers do, present the task to the class, you could select that and show the class what it is that they're supposed to be doing. And then, of course, students can view the instructions always at the top. Okay, so if they're working on an assignment and they're losing track of what it is they're supposed to be doing, they can go to the top and select their instructions. So I think I'm about done with this, and I want to assign it to my kids. So I would select however many of them I would want to do it. So I'm going to put Demo 1's kids in here. So there's 3 students. I'm going to hit save. And then you guys are able to control the start date and the due date for certain activities. I know that's a premium feature. But like I said, they allow you access to some of these features. So the next time would be 4:15. I'm going to click save. And then let's say the due date is tomorrow. Okay. And I'm going to click save for that one. And then, of course, you can tag skills and organize this assignment into folders if you would like to. And then you would just assign it to them. Now, another cool feature is that Seesaw will actually prompt you with what you should do with these assignments. So, of course, students have already signed in. Now you can actually embed that link or copy that link to your Google Classroom, to Canvas, whichever other learning management system you use, or if you just want to put in a PowerPoint that students have access to like mine do. You can copy the link, and then going back to the class will just take you back to back to the home page area where you can actually see all the students. Okay. So we're gonna go back to my library, click on my library, and then we're going to peruse one of the activities that I planned for my students. Okay. So if I wanted to view it as a student, I would click view a student. And of course, I have them watch the video linked below. That's right here. On the next page, I have them starting to use the tools because we want students to become comfortable. We don't want to just throw them out there. Provide them with activities that are going to support their learning along the way. The next one, you see, I didn't put really anything on here. I want the students to be able to create a model based upon what I've already given them. And then for this one, I provided my students with shortcuts. So that orange camera button or that orange photo button and the microphone are providing my students with opportunities to interact with the environment around them, as well as just becoming comfortable with the media that they are that they're being charged, with using. All right. So I would assign this to my class by clicking the purple assign button. They can start it right now. The due date is tomorrow. Okay. And so again, it prompts you again. And if you wanted to exit out of here, you would click the X. And now you can actually see where you provided your students with these assignments. So they have one that they can start. They can go ahead and start on right now. And then they have one that they will start on around 4:15. Okay. So if we go back to journal, this is the post that we created earlier that we want them to interact with. Activities. Here are the active activities. So I was just describing that the ones they can do now, and then scheduled is going to include the one that that they are doing at 4:15. Okay. All right. Progress. So this just shows, this is just a breakdown of the different activities that students are being given, as well as any assessment items. So whenever you see that one right there, where it's right up under April the 2nd, that is just indicating that there's an assessment feature there. And the number at the bottom where it says 0 out of 3, we see that 3 of our students have been assigned this task. All right. And then likewise with balanced and unbalanced equations, all 5 students were provided with this activity to complete. Okay. And none of them have started on it as of yet. And then also shows a breakdown by student name, how many actual, tasks and activities that they have to do. And then, of course, this just shows the tagged skills that we tagged within different assignments. And, of course, you can filter this just by looking over here. If you want to, by student group. So I can look at students in group 1. If I wanted to, I can look at students in group 2. If I wanted to. So this is just to filter out any data or any students that you don't want to look at the moment. And then we have notifications. So any likes or any probably new posts that students are going to contribute to the class, they're all going to go here. All right. So I thank you all for taking the time to be with me during this session on today. I hope that this session has provided you with more insight on this application. And if you need more assistance, please feel free to reach out to me. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.